Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Shoshana, and I want to talk about quieting the mind through completing processes, through completion of thought processes, emotional processes, taking something all the way through to the end, through the follow through and following through. Um, and you can do this on a very small level, and it will extend to the larger things in life. We're teaching ourselves a pattern of how to complete things. It's like when you brush your hair, taking a strand of hair and bringing it all the way out of entanglement. Because during this, especially during this spiritual awakening process, we're going through ourselves, we're purifying ourselves, we are getting clarity. And when we're in pressure, when there's a lot of noise in the mind, a lot of different things going on, a lot of emotions coming to the surface that are bringing with them a lot of memories, a lot of thoughts. There's a lot of pressure in the world to get things done, to do things. Um, we are measured in today's society by outcome, by what did you do, what did you do, what did you accomplish. And so we have in society, just in being able to manage and keep ourselves afloat in life, it doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum of income. Just to keep yourself afloat, you are going to have many different avenues that you have to keep going all at once. And within each one of these avenues, you have break it down into a whole bunch of little tasks and things that we have to remember, because each man now is in a full tribe, right? It used to be that the whole tribe would get together and manage all of the different tasks that there were to complete. And now it's every home is its own tribe, have to do everything. Especially if you are a single parent, like I am, then you have many different things going on, and you're the only one. So you have to keep all of these fronts up. You have to keep them surface. And what happens is that it can feel like you're drowning in your own life, especially while we're going through the spiritual awakening, and all of these big swooping emotions are coming to the surface, but you still have to keep your life manageable and still manage your life. So a lot of times there'll be so much coming at you that you'll bring this in and you'll bring this in, but you won't take it because of lack of time, because we were conditioned to believe that we need to take everything on. And especially if we put our self-worth in what we accomplish, how much we can do. So we take on a lot of times a lot more than we need to, and a lot more than we can chew all at once. And we don't take any of these processes. We kind of do everything half-assed, and we don't take any of these processes and follow it all the way through, from thought to emotion and all the way to completion of a cycle. And then also, when you complete a cycle, you also have the outcome of it. Is this something I want in my life? Is this what did I achieve in this? What meaning does it have? What added value to my life does it give? Or anything, just completing a process. Because when you start learning how to complete a process, it brings quiet. It brings, first of all, you start sifting much better, because once you start completing processes and knowing that when you take something on, you're going to take it all the way to the end, then you start picking and choosing what you allow in. To You could already see the whole process ahead of time. It also has to do with responsibility, right? Because if you are taking something on, you know that you're taking responsibility for it, and you know that you're going to follow it through. Is it worth my time? Is it worth the process? Is it worth me taking this? And what it does is it narrows your life down to it like it removes all the crap. You don't take on unnecessary crap, because when you are not following through processes all the way, first of all, everything that you take on it gets all stuffed. You could see it as if you had like a big hairball in the middle of your being where everything gets stuffed in there. And then you think a lot of times that there's more value in that because I have more in my life. But what it does is it devalues everything that you bring into your life. It kind of loses its punch. It kind of loses its value. If you're taking everything on, then there is no picking and choosing. And so everything, you have a lot more abundance, but a lot less meaning in everything that you bring in. It's like cluttering your home with a whole bunch of unnecessary plastic things just so you can feel like you're abundant. Whereas when you pick and choose and you have everything that you have in your home has a purpose and a meaning, a purpose or a meaning and a meaning, or it was chosen and it is there, then everything that you have is more valuable. And so if you could look at it like that, whatever you allow into your life, when you start narrowing your life, first of all, everything that you bring in, you follow all the way through. So it has added value, it has purpose and meaning. And it also adds that filter at the beginning because I'm not going to let a whole bunch of crap in that's just going to take up room in my life and add clutter and add pressure onto already pressure. So when we're not following through thought processes, emotions all the way to the end, it's a pattern. It's a way of living. When you do take something and you follow it all the way through to the very end, you have a lot of clarity on it. It makes your life much sharper. It brings your life to a place of, first of all, purpose, because everything that you have in your life now is purposeful. There is a purpose and a meaning to it and a reason why you do it, and you understand it. And so it gives you a lot of clarity. It not only gives you clarity, it gives you self assurance. You know that you can take something and follow it all the way through. It also teaches you that pattern and the value of it. It teaches you how to take something and process it all the way through. And I'm going to talk about this in a little bit more in a minute about opening things up all the way, because we have this habit, because of pressure, not to follow things all the way through, to bring them in and process them as quickly as we can and get them off our plate because there's so much coming at us all the time. And then there's a breakdown of the nervous system. You're constantly in the mode of pressure. And when you decide, and it's almost like something that happens on its own during the spiritual awakening, that you do not want that pressure. You do not want the pressure. And meditation really helps with this. And what happens is emotionally, a lot of times, there are things that we're not dealing with. There are thoughts that we always and continuously put on the side that I'm going to deal with at a later time when I have more space, or more when I'm more capable, when there's less pressure. The thing is, there never will be less pressure if you're not dealing with these things, because the world will stimulate you. There is more in the stimulation in the world than you can ever process in one lifetime. And if you leave your gates open and allow everything to come in, and you're not sifting very sharply, then you're going to be under constant pressure and bombardment, and you're going to be taking on things that don't align perfectly with who you are. You'll be taking on things that are kind of here next to what you are. You'll be taking on other people's agendas because everybody has their own world. You'll be taking on other people's values. If you don't have that clear in yourself set, you will be taking on things blindly, and it will never stop. So there's not going to be a day, if you are always under pressure and that is how you're working, and you're not taking what you have and following it all the way through, you will always be under pressure because you're taking on, it's like let's say like a whale in the water that's going through the ocean and has his mouth constantly open, and he's just sifting and bringing in and bringing in and bringing in. but he never stops for a minute to do a process with what he already took in, and it's just more and more clutter until he can't take anymore, but he's still taking on, and so then he just starts spitting everything out. It's kind of like energetically, it's kind of like the template. And so when you can slowly start a thought process taking a thought process when if you want to take a thought process all the way through, it means you sit down and you think it all the way through. It'll come through your emotions, and then you allow the emotions. You go through the emotions. You're going to have pushback, especially if you're not used to doing this. Your mind is going to start jumping all over the place. Your emotions are going to start leading you into different little alleys. You just have to keep bringing it back and sometimes this is a process that can take days or even months in the beginning, because your emotions haven't been expanded. They're not taught that they can expand. You'll start getting into areas that are uncomfortable to look at, things that you have ignored and actively held yourself apart from so that you don't have to feel those emotions. And when you start pushing yourself through those emotions, it's like opening a hose that's been clogged. But you'll start seeing that once you start pushing through it, you begin to expand it, and the capability of doing that full process of bringing something in and fully following it through all the way to the end. And because we have the physical world, and the physical world is where everything plays out on, it's very easy to, let's say if we have a dream that we've always wanted to do, or we want to make a video, or we want to write a children's book, or we want to write a short story, or we want to write a post in Facebook, or we want to create a sculpture or create a painting, or there's something that we always have in the back of our mind of something that we have always wanted to do or complete. And each one of us knows what it is personally, what is mine, what yours is yours. And you know internally what it is. And if you can take that on a small level and follow it all the way through in the physical plane, let's say you wanted to make this painting. Go and get the paints, bring the paints, get the canvas, get the brushes. Start the process. If you get stuck in the middle, you're going to have, if you haven't, it's like a muscle. It's like a muscle that you have to strengthen that muscle. In the beginning, the muscle is going to be weak and it's going to want to quit in the middle. And if you haven't had practice, because even painting, even if you are a super talent and you haven't painted in years, I know this on my own self. There was a whole period of my life, 8 years, that I didn't touch, well, barely didn't touch any kind of artistic, drawing or painting. And when I went to get back to it, everything that I was doing is turning out crappy. It was almost like I felt like I lost the touch, and I pushed through it and I opened that back up for me. And so it's just allowing yourself to complete a process all the way through. And once you do that, you're teaching yourself a pattern. So you may think, well, what's the end product? A painting. So I have a painting, but I still have all this pressure in my life. But just being able to complete that one painting, thank you for coffee, it's going to teach you the pattern of completion. And so that will expand into the rest of your life. Without it's like kind of like a trick. It's kind of like a bypass. It's kind of like how to teach yourself a pattern that will reflect onto all of the other mumbo jumbo that you have in that hairball of your being, right? Because it's going to teach yourself, first of all, you're going to have to become very present in order to take that one strand all the way through. You're going to have to pull your focus. You're going to have to quiet your mind. It'll bring you into the present moment. In the beginning, there's going to be a lot of shaking. There's going to be a lot of shaking in your mind. Your mind's going to start wandering. Well, I have to do dishes. I have to do this. I have to do that. Well, I have to make a living. How am I going to sit down and pay? You don't understand. I do understand. You're going to have all of that pressure, and that pressure, because it's your automatic and how you've been running for years, is going to start kicking. It's going to start kicking from inside, and you're going to have to take control of your avatar, take control of your mind, and narrow it down. It's like quieting your mind. Meditation helps with this. Even if you get up a half an hour early every day, you can do that. You can have a half an hour more. I'm sure that you can find plenty of half an hours in your day that are wasted time. Half an hour to meditate. If you don't have a half an hour to meditate, then you need an hour. Take a half an hour to quiet your mind. It's so important. And I know you say, well, I don't know how to meditate. How do I quiet my mind? Meditation doesn't work for me. It does. Within that half an hour, even if you have 1 second that you completely are connected, or even if after a week of sitting in meditation, you have 1 second, you will start seeing results in your life immediately. You will start seeing results in your everyday life because it forces you to quiet everything down. It also allows you to know that you are putting yourself in the forefront, that you intend on this, on healing yourself and coming back into your self-power. It tells yourself a story. It tells yourself that my journey, my spiritual awakening journey, is the most important here, and I intend on following this through. So you are teaching yourself something. And as you begin to narrow it down and follow something all the way through, it can be a thought process, something that you've been avoiding, a decision that you need to make, and you just follow it all the way through. If you need a pad of paper and pen, take a pad of paper and a pen. And even if you don't get to results in the beginning, make that intention to start following something all the way through to the very end and see the result of it and feel what that means. And was this important, and did it add value to my life? Follow something from A all the way to Z, all the way through your thought process, emotional processes, and it'll start showing you how to do that. And the more that you do it, the less that you will have place in your life to bring in things that you're not willing to follow through on, because the satisfaction of following something all the way through, first of all, it makes your life very pinpoint. It brings your life into something that is very clean and intentional and quiet, because you take something, you follow it through. You take something, you follow it through. You get the benefit of everything that you allow into your life. If you're just taking on things and they're getting in that big hairball of clutter in the middle of your being, you're not getting value of anything that you bring into your life. And it's just adding clutter and more pressure. Whereas if you start siphoning better, then you don't allow the things that don't add value into your life. And so you don't have that added pressure of clutter of saying yes to something that you don't want to do. Somebody offers you to go to an event that you could really care less of, but you don't know how to say no, and they want you to come so that they don't have to feel alone, or you feel like you should, according to society's values, you should feel that that is important to you, but it's not really important to you. And you're not being true to yourself. So you're saying yes because of outside influences. That is clutter. That is taking up precious time, energy, place. It is making you go against yourself. So you also feel out of alignment, and it makes you feel mad at yourself because you kind of feel grody about being pressured into something. You don't feel like you have a backbone. And you will start, when you start following processes all the way through and you see the things that you don't even want to follow through, right? When you start picking that ball of clutter, that hairball of clutter apart, and you start saying, well, why is this there? I don't even want to follow that through. Even if I follow it through and get the benefit of it, it's not a benefit that I want. And you just like throw it out of your life. You start clearing that hairball away. And it gives you so much clarity and so much power. You feel empowered. Everything that is in your life is intentional and adds value to your life and has a purpose and meaning, and it makes you feel so much stronger, and it makes you feel so intentional, and it makes you feel like powerful, and it gives you self-assurance because it starts giving you clarity of what yes and what no, and you when you know that everything that you're taking into your life you're going to follow through on, you say yes to things that you don't want much less because you don't have the time. You don't have the you don't feel like following through on whatever that point is. So you begin to respect yourself and not allow all that clutter into your life. It allows you to see what is important and what is less important. It also allows you to learn that pattern of following something all the way through. It cleans up your life. It cleans up your life from the get-go. Something starts coming at you, wants to come into your life. You're like, okay, wait, the process. You think about the whole process all the way through. You're like, wait a minute. Do I really want that in my life? No, I don't. It's not only is it not going to add value, it's going to add to the clutter. It's going to take away from the time and intention and focus of the things that really do matter to me in my life. And then you don't have time, you push it away. And that begins to be the automatic. And you'll see that your external life will start cleaning up leaps and bounds, and almost immediately you will start seeing the results once you start teaching yourself the full thought process. And it's in the small things too. And it also makes you become much more present in your life because you have a thought and then you jump to another thought and then you jump to another thought. Stop for a minute, become present. Wait, what was I thinking? Okay, what is the continuation of that thought? What is the continuation of that thought? Okay, where is this taking? What is the wait, how do I feel about this? What is the result of this? Is this adding to my life vision and how I perceive myself and what I feel my values are? Is this adding to, or is the outcome something of the ego, or is the outcome something for something else that doesn't really matter to me, and then I put all of my life effort and time into something that really isn't important to me? And you will start, not only will you start getting really fast, you'll get clarity. You'll also start, when that hairball starts becoming smaller and smaller, it's going to feel so good to release all that pressure that you're going to want to pick away at that hairball until there's nothing left in it except for what comes into your life goes all the way through. What comes into your life goes all the way through. And with such intention, it's like taking tweezers. It's like tweezing through life. You like this, yes, all of that, no. This, yes, all of that, no. You have infinite opportunities and options in every moment. Make everything that comes in exactly aligned with your being, and you will have the cleanest, most powerful, most beautiful life. We're cleaning up our life. We're aligning ourselves to ourselves. We are aligning our thoughts, words, and actions and emotions. We're taking them all, we're aligning them. And when we align them, we actually are aligning them to natural cause and effect, to the universe. And in it, we are becoming righteous. It's not we say one thing, we think one thing. Where does gossip come from? Gossip comes from out of alignment, misalignment, right? I feel bad about myself, so I talk about somebody else and how their alignment. So I'm being a judgmental instead of just staying in my own lane, because when you are in that powerful place, you don't have time for that. That's none of your business. You can reflect something outwardly, and as you align, you will automatically reflect that clarity outwardly. It's not even something that you have to work at or worry about, and it's certainly not something that you'll even care about, really. So I made a few notes because I've kind of been going through emotional processes lately, and as you go through something all the way to the end, then you see the pattern of it. So I was able to see how important it was to take this process and follow it all the way through. And that's even where this video came from, is from completion of processes. Without completing processes, you can't see the importance of completing processes. So I just want to say, teaching yourself to complete processes, follow through, um, teach ourselves how to, okay. It calms us down. We become very clear, intentional. It calms us down. It brings us into the now. It aligns us. It makes us pay attention. We become very present in our life, because everything that comes at us, we're not just on the automatic, bring it in, bring it in. We're like, wait a minute, what does this entail? What does this mean? Do I want to take this on? Even if it's something that kind of aligns with me, is it the most important? Because in the siphoning process, you are going to have to let things go. Things and there's that FOMO, fear of missing out. Well, no, I need to take it all on because I'm afraid I'm going to miss out. But if you're taking it all on, you are definitely missing out. You're missing out on the taste of being precise and like a knife. It is untangling thought and emotion. You gain clarity, responsibility, self-assurance, because you know that you can do it and you know what you are. It slows everything down. It forces you to pay attention and to become more present in your life. So that was all of the thoughts that I kind of jotted down. So I want to invite you to visit my website if you would like to schedule a meeting with me one-on-one to kind of look at your life and kind of help through this kind of look and get some perspective. Then my contact information is in my website. If you want more information on Organite, then I have a gallery of Organites in my website, and you can kind of read up on it. So I'm sending you guys so much love. Thank you for being here.